Good night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says exactly 10 bells, 10 o'clock on Wednesday night in a bitterly cold west of Ireland. If you were going out for a walk, you'd nearly want to bring the skipping rope with you. I was out earlier there, and the first night I felt the cold on my knees and on the front of my shin bones as I was walking. Walked a bit. The dog had a sore foot, so I couldn't bring the dog with me tonight, but I went for a bit of a walk. But I had to keep on the sheltered side because it looked a bit frosty on the other side. Not the sheltered side, the other side. I didn't keep the sheltered side. Getting mixed up. Bitterly cold is promised -5, so there'll be very little racing the next few days, it seems. Fairyhouse called off tomorrow. It's on again next Wednesday, and I see Lingfield, even the flat is even called off on Friday. So hopefully we'll miss it big time because there was a few nice cards for the weekend. We had one today, and we knew our fate fairly fast. I thought after the first furlong, I knew we were doomed. What was his name? Cagney. Airdon Cagney, was it? Lost position, good draw, lost position straight away, and his goose was cooked. Big gamble on that horse. It isn't the first time that has been done. I think it's the 5th, but it's the first time they got money. But the handbrake was on the last twice when it beat only 2 horses home, but they went for it today and got it. So we didn't know that, but they did. So at least somebody got a few pound. 2 for tomorrow. Hard got this weather, but I think we'll have 2 that might be competitive. Shout out to newcomers on the bus. Linny Baker from Cork. A langer. He's living in sunny Perth. Happy days for you. I would swap nearly any minute for sunny Perth now than the weather I encountered earlier. James, just plain old James, is living in Paddington in London. Very welcome. A Cockney. There's a lot of Cockneys on the bus. Thank you for being on with us. James Crowley in Kinmare. I met him during the summer. Actually, over my left shoulder, there's a green bag with a pink writing on it. That is a St. Bridget's cross that I got off James during the summer. I met him in Kinmare one day. Great surprise. He mentioned Sid Vicious. That was the book that could fairly punk rock, him and Johnny Rotten. I couldn't think of Sid Vicious last night. I was never in his league anyway. Martin Ryan brought up a good memory as well last night. He worked on the set of Father Ted 30 years ago. That must be very memorable for him as well. Newcomer on the bus, Ron Tinian. Also James Bailey. And we have Darrell Griffiths in Barbados, who had the song, Whoa, I'm Going to Barbados. Another spot I wouldn't mind going to in this cold weather. Just on a sad note, Stephen Pitt said to remind us about his brother Paul Fulcher being buried today. I visited him in hospital in Belfast the day before he passed away. That seems, it must be 6 weeks ago, I'd say. I can't remember when, but it seems a long time ago. I thought that burial might have taken place by now, but obviously they do things a lot slower in different parts of the world. Around here, they'd have you covered in 24 hours nearly. Definitely before 48 anyway. You'd hardly be cold before they'd have you underneath. But may Paul rest in peace. He was a long-time follower of the bus. And so is Stephen. He is the guy that gives the weather updates on a regular basis. Well, nearly on a daily basis. Just for newcomers as well, Terry Woods last July was another person that passed away. I think it was August he passed away, but I was over to see him in London. He died of prostate cancer. He was sick for 4.5 years. Went over to see him for 3 days, and he has a video. It's on the, was it 12th of July or the 13th of July? 11th of July. And we done a live broadcast from a pub in Tottenham in London on the 12th of July, just to make people aware that there is a test you can get. Gentlemen over 40 can get a test from their GP to make people, or to prevent cancer, prostate cancer, or if it's coming, they'll know about it. It can be done on a yearly basis. So if anyone wanted to check out, he left a video on the 11th, and we done one on the 12th. I just said I might mention that if I'm around this time, 12 months as well, is just to look after people as best we can. Paul, I got that from Paul Butler. I'll be sending the €100 this month to Birmingham Hospice, where his wife passed away. Thanks for that, Paul. Anyway, we're on to tomorrow. It's not that, but this. There's a mile and 3 furlongs, 23 yards in Southwell, or somebody pointed out today that was Southwell. Tomato. There's the top weight there. It's his first run for Jamie Osborne. Hoth has been running for just being Culmore, but Tenerife Sunshine, we've seen him recently. I'll be looking at racing and writing down names when I see it, particularly that we're involved in, like who's in behind. And it was a race that we won on Lizio on the 3rd of January. And that had come down from a class 2 to a class 4. It went off 72 favourite. It was bigger early in the day. But we'll just have a quick peep at Tenerife Sunshine in behind. It's in the orange colours, orange hat. It is here where my hand is now, or where somebody's hand is.
Well, Anderleep is towards that one's inside. Geelong next, then Tenerife Sunshine.
It was running on fairly smartly towards the end, with a couple of yards out of Forum and horses that hasn't run in a while. That Vals that hasn't run for 93 days. Quased for 201 days. Hoth, I think it'll need another run or two, but that'll win a race because it's down from in the early hundreds when it was with in Ireland. It was Coolmore, Aidan O'Brien. This horse, so the 4-1 shot earlier, there's a bit of money for it, but I had it down at 9-2 earlier on to back it each way. If it goes out to 9-2, back it each way, you never know in this weather what happens. And similar as well in the 8:30. I had this horse picked out as an each way play as well. Relentless Warrior. It's his first time at 6 furlongs. He's a few good runs at, decent enough runs at 5 furlongs. William Carver rode it the last twice. And just, he didn't get the run of the race. With all 5-4 favourite in December, Oisin Murphy was on it in Lingfield. It was over 5 furlongs, only beaten 3.5 lengths, but it hadn't ran from July. But if we look at it the last day here, it was 6 wide in the turn for home, and it ran on. That the extra furlong, you would imagine, would be to its advantage. It's in the yellow colours. It'll come sweeping wide on the outside.
Third
Rishi.
Here's the white face.
Princess as they make the turn for home. Via Blanca taking on Zola Power for the lead. These two race stride for stride. They're followed by Hear It for the boys, the light blue, Rishi, the blue and white checks, and also staying on from the back is Rogue Rosie. Good battle up front. It is still Zola Power narrowly ahead of in second place Via Blanca. They've dominated proceedings from the start, and that's the way they're going to finish. Zola Power first up for Mick Appleby, goes on to score, beats into second Via Blanca. Rishi was third, then Hear It for the boys, Relentless Warrior.
Hear It for the boys was in the same race. I think he could pass that. That wasn't off favourite in that race. It was the morning or favourite, the early probable forecast favourite. Money for our selection as well now. The other one has drifted a bit. It's just trying to get something out. Just take it steady on Harry Davis is up as well tomorrow rather than Carver, so he might be all right. So there's the two. A quick look at a couple of races in Cheltenham, seeing that we've nothing else to do. Looking at the turners there, I see the French horse has been entered in it, and that wasn't supposed to be entered in it. It was supposed to be going for the French Gold Cup. So it looks like they have had a change of heart, and that they must be going to run in this. Now, will that mean that, as I was saying, I didn't notice that last night. I hadn't looked at the turners, but looking at it after I'd done the video last night, and I was thinking that might entice Willie Mullins to go in the Arkle in Leopardstown and see how he gets on against Facile or against Marine Nationale, and that his entry could be, if they run well enough, if it runs well enough in that, it could stay in the Arkle and to avoid this horse, because this is a machine like. So that goes out in front, so they'll be all playing for second places, I would imagine. The Ryanair, an open enough affair. 7-year-olds have a great record in this. Not too many. This is going to 6-year-olds having a great record in it, but if you look at a horse, where are we here? 1 second now. Fieldor. It's a 6-year-old, but it's rated 155. Dropped a few pounds for its last couple of runs. Just second to El Fabiolo in the Hilly Way in Cork, and just second to Dino Blue on its first run in November. First run back after last year's campaign. It seems to have improved this winter. And if that improves for a step up in trip, the only time it ran in over hurdles was behind Langer Dan, wasn't it? But that's 33-1. It's lightly raced by Dr. Dino. It's a 33-1 shot. There's a lot of horses there that won't run in that race. I mean, they're entered, but they ain't going to run. That could be an outsider there at 33-1. 25s in some places, but it's with 365, it's 33-1. I just have a feeling Allaho isn't as good as he was. That year off, it's like a footballer being off for a year, going on touring the world, and they come back in and they think they'll come back in the same condition. And it takes them about a year to get back, or even 2, some of them I've seen. And looking at the per temps, 10-1 the field. Some of these haven't even qualified, and some of them won't run. But we have a horse there that won for us a per temps qualifier. Howling Mad Murdoch. It's a 20-1 shot there with 365. That's definitely going to run. It won off 137. So it'll probably get £4 or £5, but even in the low 40s. Now there is a trend there that if you win the qualifier, you don't win the actual final of it. But the horse that was second last year had won one, and he should have won. He could have won last year. So, but that was 6. You had to be in the first 6 to qualify. It's a different stat now when it's down to being in the first 4. So there's a look at some of my thoughts as of now. So I will be back in Howling Mad Murdoch, I'd say, if that and it will go, because I was impressed with that. That was it was very impressive the last day. It bet Ramo, and Ramo's a decent sort, but it better be 8 or 10 lengths. So just ran through them when we had nothing else to do. Bash the bookies, over and out.